What we're going to do here is look at calculating normal probabilities using Geogebra. So here we are at Geogebra's website. Since we're calculating probabilities, we want to select under Classic Apps, select Probability. And what this will do is automatically open up our normal probability. So before we had switched to binomial, we had all these different options. What we want to do is stick with normal here. So first thing we want to do is set up our normal curve. So it's always going to start with the mean of 0, standard deviation of 1. So what we're going to do is go through that problem where we calculated the probabilities using the empirical rule, but we're going to improve on it since those were all estimates. What would be the exact values? So with our Portland rainfall, the mean was 40, so we want to type in 40 there, and standard deviation of 8. And that'll set up our normal curve right here. So our first probability, which is actually already set up for us here, is to calculate the percentage of the time that annual rainfall was between 32 and 48. So because we're between two values, we want to use this interval button. So there's three options. There's the left-sided, which makes a left tail, interval, which is bounded between two cutoff values, and then this right-sided, which makes an area to the right of a cutoff value. So because we're between two values, we want an interval between, and then our x values are 32 and 48. And as you can see, on this right-hand side, it tells us 0.6827. This is our percentage. This is our area between those 2 points. So where we said about 68% before, it's actually exactly 68.27%. If we want to find what's the probability that the annual rainfall is more than 48, so we want to cut off at 48 here, and for more than, we want the area to the right. So we want to select this button for right-sided. So we select right-sided, but we can see it's starting at 32. So what we want to do is go in and edit, change that to 48, and then just be sure to hit enter so that it adjusts everything. And we can see is it's exactly 15.87% right there. So on this right-hand side, it's giving you the area under the curve. So where we estimated 16% before, it's actually 15.87%. For what percentage of the time is the annual rainfall 24 inches or less? So now we want to cut off at 24 and find everything below. So this we want to choose the left-sided button. And what we want to do is edit our value so that it's starting at 24. And once you hit enter, you should be getting a 0.0228 out. So where we had said about 2.5%, it's actually 2.28%. And then where it said 56 inches or less, so we want to be starting at 56 and shade everything to the left. So we can stay in this left-sided mode. We just want to adjust our starting point to 56. And where we had estimated 97.5% of the time, it's actually 97.72%. So Geogebra will give you these exact values. Like for that example I said at the end, like if we had said, what if we wanted to find 50 inches or less, which doesn't land nicely on exactly a certain number of standard deviations away from the mean, we can just type in our value of 50 here, and it'll give us exactly our value for our percentage.